Hey everyone! So today I will be reviewing Cut by Patricia McCormick. Um, Scooch. I'm sorry that I missed a video last week. I'm trying to adjust to being home again and instead of in college. So I'm trying to find like a work routine and then an at-home routine and also trying to cope with like not being able to just go and do what I want, which is frustrating for someone who's like really independent, but I'll get used to it. And sorry this is a day late for this week too, so my bad. Anyway, a couple stats on this book. Cut was published in 2000 by Front Street, and it is 168 pages. The summary goes like this. 15-year-old Callie isn't speaking to anybody, not even her therapist at Sea Pines, the residential treatment facility where her parents and doctor sent her after discovering that she cuts herself. As her story unfolds, Callie reluctantly becomes involved with the guests at Sea Pines, other young women struggling with problems of their own. Although their issues are different from hers, Callie is drawn into the group, finds her voice, and gradually confronts her family trauma that triggered her destructive behavior. I didn't like this book. It wasn't accurate or authentic. And here's what I mean by that. Never have I heard of somebody immediately having to go into a psychiatric treatment facility for just finding out that they cut themselves. It says behind it, it's like you go to the doctor, they diagnose you with whatever, and then they put you on medication. Usually like starts with a low dose so your body can get used to it, and then they'll send you to a counselor or a psychiatrist that you pick. They don't just immediately go, oh, you cut yourself? In you go. That's not how it works. But that's what happened in Cut. The nurse found Callie's cuts and they sent her to Sea Pines immediately. It's not how it happens. There are more steps to that. The only way that you would be sent immediately I can think of is if you were found unconscious due to injuries sustained from cutting. Like you were unconscious, you had to go to the ER, you didn't have it like massive blood loss, all of that. That's the only time I can think you would be put into a treatment facility, but it wouldn't be a treatment facility. It would be like the psychiatric ward, and then you would discuss where to go from there. It wouldn't be like, oh, you cut yourself, that automatically qualifies for institutionalization. That's not how it works, and it bothers me that it's the book kind of made it out to be like, this is how it happens, and it worries me that someone had read it and that automatically assumed and then didn't tell their parent, guardian, nurse, school counselor, aunt, whatever, whoever, that they were cutting because they immediately thought, I'm going to get sent to an institution. I don't like the thought of that happening. And the book didn't feel authentic because all of the characters, places, everything, it felt very one-dimensional. All of the characters, the only thing that they had going for themselves that made them like interesting was their mental illness, and that's not how it works. The other girls who were at Sea Pines with Callie, the only thing interesting about them was that they were bulimic, they were anorexic, they had anxiety, depression. That was the only thing that was interesting. It wasn't like, I have anxiety, but I also really like to paint. Um, it only focused on that part of them, and the author expected us to care um, about them simply because they have a mental illness, and that is just not the case. Um, is there is there empathy? Yes, but you you use characterization to make the reader care about what happens to your character. You add more dimensions to your characters so people care about your character. Why do you think people watch soap operas? It's not because the plot is good, it's because the characterization is so good, you just have to know what happens to those characters. Um, but there was nothing interesting about these characters other than the fact that they were in a mental institution, a terrible word, and I'm so sorry. They were in this treatment facility and they had a mental illness. Like, that's the only thing that was interesting, and that really bothered me. Um, I don't think at all that Patricia McCormick meant any ill will or harm. I think she, excuse me, tried to raise awareness of mental illness, especially in 2000, um, where it wasn't quite at the forefront of everyone's mind. It was still taboo. No one's talked about it. So I think she was trying to break down that wall a little bit, and I think she did, but I think it could have been done better. Um, if you want to read more books about mental health, that kind of thing, there's so many books out there that you can read. I really don't recommend this one. I will still link it in the description below, like I do with all of the books, but I don't recommend it. Goodreads gave it a 3.8 out of 5, and I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. It was not a good book. It was fast paced, and the writing itself was really good. Like, the writing, excuse me, the author's voice, it was great. But there really wasn't a plot, and there was no characterization, and that's what makes up a book. Plot, there's a story. There really wasn't a story behind it. It was just this girl's in a mental hospital. Like, cool. What's gonna happen? Like, what's she gonna do? Awesome. Okay. Um, I think it was like, oh, she's trying to like accept treatment and blah 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 blah, but like it wasn't very clear. So yeah. And then I talked a lot about characterization before. Anyway, thank you all for watching my video, my rant. I really appreciate all of the subscriptions and all of that good stuff. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you